Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. I want to welcome you to this session of Humanity Rising. As we continue our exploration into the extraterrestrial moment that the entire human race globally, all at the same time, is entering. And what we're discovering, as you will have noted, is that this ET phenomenon is much more vast than mere artifacts from retrieved alien craft like Roswell, as important as that is, retrieved alien biologics, as they're called, by David Grush in his congressional testimony last July, maybe. We're beginning to really explore, I think, the multidimensionality of the ET moment. I was on a phone call earlier today with my principal partner in the development of the Religions Project, bringing together the world religions to really look at this phenomenon. We were making the point together that it was human action in developing nuclear technology and nuclear weapons at the end of the Second World War that triggered, by all accounts, the extraterrestrials in our part of the galaxy to take note that something was amiss on planet Earth. And we were both contemplating that often we think of human activity just in terms of Earth itself. You know, we're busy killing each other and exploiting the planet and creating global warming and all the things that humans are doing in their mismanagement of the planetary ecology. But we tend to think that it's limited to the Earth. But somehow those who are religious amongst us, they believe that if you pray, you somehow communicate with God, the master craftsman of the whole cosmos. But that's the extent of it. But just take in for a moment that the advent of a technology back in 1945, 78 years ago, rang alarm bells throughout the galaxy, the Milky Way. And that human action, like human intent through prayer, has cosmic significance. What we do not only ripples as a stone dropped in the pond of our families and our communities, our nations, our regions, and at a planetary level. What humanity does ripples through the cosmic pond. And that's a sobering realization when you really take it in. And today we want to consider one of the dimensions of the cosmic influence of our extraterrestrial moment. We're going to consider how the planetary ecosystem itself, not humans, but the planet, communicates with the ETs, and how the ETs may be using the planetary ecology through crop circles, for example, to bring kind of acupuncture healing to the planet, to communicate to this very wayward species that has established dominance and now is headed in absolutely the wrong direction. So we want to consider today cosmic dimensions. We want to consider today planetary, extraterrestrial, galactic interactivity when we think of the ETs. Extraordinary moment to be alive, where every category of cognition is being exploded. And it's true that Gaza continues. The Israelis killed another 89, mostly women and children in the last 24 hours, wounded another 120. Carnage is unimaginable, according to the World Health Organization official that went into Khan Yunis. And at the same time, all of what we are doing is being witnessed. Even as I have been bearing witness about Gaza, so the extraterrestrials have been bearing witness on human activity and planetary activity. And that's why they continue to warn. So the interactivity is subtle, profound, interactive, and cosmic. So the extraterrestrial phenomenon is as planetary as it is personal. It's as cosmic as it is terrestrial. To help us explore this more deeply, I want to bring back to Humanity Rising someone who's been on several times before, Hans Andeveg, who is really the founder of the ECOintention movement, initially in Europe, but now increasingly globally. We have an academic partnership with Hans in the ECOintention movement, whereby you can study with Hans on ECOintention and then get degrees at Ubiquity University at the master's and PhD level. Hans is the author of a number of books. In Resonance with Nature was his first book. His recent book is that the universe wants you to be happy. He's a specialist in, I would say, large scale intentionality. Often we think of mental telepathy and intention person to person or person to community. Imagine large scale human ecosystem interactivity. He's looked into the relationship between ETs and crop circles. So today we're just going to finish the week with delight at how mysteriously magical our universe really is. Our planet is. And we ourselves are, if we would only wake up to the miracle and the mystery of life. So I want to welcome Hans to Humanity Rising. Hans, you can turn on your video and put yourself all off mute. And we're delighted to have you finish the week with us today. And I'll turn the program over to Hans. He's going to do a slide presentation, and then we'll circle back for a dialogue for the balance of the time. And then Hans is going to join the after chat. So you'll have the opportunity to talk with him then. But welcome, Hans.
Thank you so much, Jim. I'm so happy to be back here, and thank you for your introduction and your lovely community and your great work with Ubiquity. And now even, making the connection with extraterrestrial intelligence, even offering a master's study, it's really unique, your work. So I'm really, really happy, and also about the invitation to talk about this subject. And already what we do with ECOintention is out of the box for many people, that we are able to heal large scale as human beings. This is what we teach. And this is also incredible what we can do, but we can't do this alone. And we have help, always say, for many spiritual friends, whatever we can call them, and also from the beginning from extraterrestrial. And I never talk so much about it only in our training and not outside, but I feel it's a great opportunity to do this. And I would like to take you on, especially about my own experiences in this field, in my communication, but especially the collaboration. And I think this is also quite unique because there are people having this contact and saying it's true, it's not true. And I think we already took it a step on. We are working together. And I want to really show you my own journey in this and growing, how we grew in this context and in this communication. I will show slides, and I will also give everybody access to an article I wrote given a crop circle that came on a certain question. So I will take you on step by step. And first of all, about your remarks about the planet, I really think we are living the days of magic and wonder. And it's really a very critical situation on our planet. But I think we are in this Gaia game, like I call it, also all having solutions and a gift to life which we brought when we came to this planet. So I'm always quite hopeful. And when you look at all the discoveries we are doing at the moment in the cosmos with the James Webb Telescope, the Hubble before this, all the planetary missions, we discover more and more and more and more. And we talk about more than 300 billion galaxies in the universe. And each day there are we discovering more with James Webb. Each galaxy having about 300 billion stars. So when you all put this together, it's so many stars there. And it's amazing that till 1994, we thought we were the only solar system in this whole universe having only one with planets. And the only planet having life on it is planet Earth. Wow. Quite unique, isn't it? But how lonely. And well, it took us till 1994 until we discovered the first exoplanet. And we learned how to do this, and each day we are discovering more and more, and even more and more in a more habitable zone, like planet Earth. And at the moment, you know, the whole cosmology says, well, there are now, we say, there are more planets in the universe than stars. And the amount of habitable planets is also enormous. So then imagine the age of the galaxy, about 13 billion years, or what is it? Then civilizations being a little bit more advanced, that we say 100,000 years, and already thinking what we discovered in the 2000 years, and in fact it's only 200 years since the industrial revolution, then could it not be that there is so much life out there, and this life is really, you know, there, perhaps also curious of what we are doing. But one thing that I learned, because it's all good and bad in the universe, and there are many agendas also with the ETs, but if they are positive, they really, really respect our free will 100%. And they will all connect with it when we ask for it, because this is our game here to develop our free will, etc. And also, I think it's incredible when you look at humanity and take the whole development of this planet Earth in 24 hours. So we start about 4.5 billion years ago, you know, with a hot ball of gas and heat, nothing there, and coming in a hard crust and life developing. And then you see 200,000 years to come on the Homo sapiens, but it's only 1 second before midnight, you know, humans, the Homo sapiens, the modern humans approach. And then 2,000 years ago, our year counting starts. That is 1/100th of a second. And then now say more than some 200 years ago, in the Industrial Revolution, that is 1 millisecond. And then what your life takes the maximum of 100 years. So we live here for 1/1000th of a second. It's like this, and still see what we all achieved in those 200 years and set the whole planet upside down. So really, I think there is something going on this planet. And then when we live in a world, in a universe where everything is connected, what we know now from the quantum science, then when this is happening, whoop, like this, it must be having some effect on other realms. especially on the subtle realms, from the subtle metal and interdimensional, because we already discovered there are more dimensions. So are there also more dimensions on our planet? Well, I think so, and I will also tell you how our planet is used for interdimensional transportation, and that it is really something, the environment we are creating here is, well, really endangering, threatening all kind of extraterrestrial communication and transportation. So this is in general. But let's go back many, many years, or many years. It's the beginning of the 80s and late 80s when Irene Lutz and Marion Hoensbroek, one my teachers, they found that the planet was also, well, shaking up. We had the dying forest dieback in Europe. And Irene Lutz, it was a very psychic woman. She saw Europe as a whole, as an organism with organs in it. But she saw this organism falling apart. And what is happening now with all the refugees, she already predicted in those days. And she said, we could do something about it when we develop a method for large-scale healing, acupuncture regions. And then you sort of think about 40 to 40 kilometers and larger. That was not there on the planet. I think then we can do something about it. We can restore the energetic climate. And when the energy is good, people feel good and they have good luck and they have better communication. They feel healthy. And would be wonderful when we can apply this method, not only on nature estate, but also, you know, in schools and in villages where we are invited. So this was a beginning of a new way of developing and trying to find a healing method. Well, I won't go into that story. I describe it also partly in my book, In Resonance with Nature, this whole story. But this was the challenge, to develop this method, and we started from scratch with only a few people. But she was very psychic, and there was much connection with the spiritual world, so she said. And she also taught me, and I taught myself, to be more in contact with this. So from the beginning on, this more spiritual realm was for us normal, so to say, and also to work together with elementals in the fields, you know, with the dwarves, the elves, and everything being there in the forest when I came, and we learned to communicate with it and to work together with the spirit of the birds and everything else. But on the other hand, she said, I want to develop a method that is also scientifically based, that we can really connect all these ancient wisdoms and our perceptions with nowadays science, with quantum science, with morphic fields and so on. And it should work. We should invite scientists to do research, and it would also be part of my work to set up all the experimental design experiments. So we started with this method in the mid-80s and developed it. And well, like I won't go into this now, and we succeeded to do this. So we have now a method working large scale, and I will take you again to places in Europe where we work, another one. So this was it. And we started working, now I go back to the early 90s and my first experience with a large estate in southern England. And it was about 2,000 hectares, 2,000 soccer fields large, with everything going on. And we did quite well there. So it was balanced with a map from Germany, sending the energy over there, and it had better crop, higher yields, was also proved in measurements, etc. So we talked about, and people was quite open for our work. And then suddenly the manager said, hey, you know, you're maybe interested in crop circles. So yeah, I heard a little bit about it. Yeah, we have lots of them in southern England. They are, in fact, the hotspot literally on planet Earth where most of them are. So don't you want to come and see this? I said, yeah, why not? And so let's go. So one afternoon we went to Elton Barnes. Some people may recognize this name. Said, but I won't tell you. There are two crop circles there. So one is genuine. Yeah, we're sure, but one is fake. And I won't tell you which one is the fake one. I said, okay, this is a nice experiment. So we got to the field, beautiful wheat, and there was something there I could see, and we walked over there, and I entered this crop circle, and I was very disappointed because it looked messy and it didn't touched me, so to say. And I expected I don't know what I expected, but no, I don't know. There's nothing special here. I said, you're good because that may be the fake one made by humans. I said, okay, let's go to the other one. So I lost a little bit my interest, and I was looking to my feet, going through the crop. And certainly I was really hit by an amount of energy. It was incredible. And I already learned to perceive this. And then I stood in the midst of a crop circle. I said, yeah, this is the real one. I said, wow, what is this? This is the real one. Wow. And well, so I was really flabbergasted by the energy, by the cosmic energy coming in. It was like a huge vortex being there. And then I did a very important discovery, what I also teach my students, because when you learn to sense a radiance from a soil or a floor, whatever, there are always three basic layers, and you learn to read them, telling you something about what's on the ground floor happening on the working floor, the communication level, the concept level, and the management. Well, there's a lot to tell about this. But I started sensing the radiance in the crop circle, and that was based on layers, on 30, 20, 13 cent. It was quite unusual. I never experienced this before. And in those layers was a lot of frequency, like a pulsing of energy. It was amazing. Like there was a lot of information there. So I said, hey, this is something. And I went outside the crop circle to check it. And exactly outside the crop circle, it was normal. So this is a very interesting phenomenon. And this is one thing I found always in all the crop circles I visit, and there were really a lot, this special radiance. So this is one way you can distinguish a genuine one from a fake one. So I went back home, took some grain, some cereal, some ears with me to show my friend Rijk at home. We were still working together, but at that time we were also privately connected. So I came back home with my story about the crop circle, finding the real one, and telling her, said, well, I'm amazed. I said, I brought something for you. So I had a little package for her, so I really gave it to her. And I will never forget the moment when she opened this. So I thought she would be happy, but she opened it and it was like a poof, a flash of light coming from this little package I made, and she's really thrown back. And she really got angry with me. Whoa, this is a nice present. So, and I was also really shocked. So much energy coming from this few, well, how you call it, ears in English. So we settled down. We had dinner and everywhere, and we forgot this stuff in the living room. And then we went to sleep, and we both woke up during the night. And it was such rumor almost in the house, and restless. And she said, I don't know, but there is something in our living room. And I also felt it. So I said, well, we have those crop circle things over there. Yeah, there may be some aliens over there, she said. So, and I want you to kick them out. So this was quite, amazing, lying in the bed talking about aliens. You have to kick them out. But I said it was not pleasant. So I went into the room really looking. Well, there was nothing there. So I took them out, put them in the garage, and then we had silence in the room. The next morning, I immediately got telephone calls from our friends in England having the same experience in their homes. So there was definitely something going on with the things we cooked from the crop circle. So I went to the Institute for Resonance Therapy, that was called those days, and it's called now Center for ECOintention. And I gave it to Irene Lutz because she was the head of it, and also much more, trained in connecting with the energies. I said, yes, I knew you were bringing me something because you already had felt telepathy, that something going on. And yeah, there's a very strong energy connected to it. Yeah, I feel they want to communicate with us. And well, let's see if they can do this. Now I learned to do this myself, and I teach the students, but that time I was not so skilled. And next day she took us all together and said, yeah, I really feel these energies, what I feel, she said, from outside the planet, extraterrestrial, want to collaborate with us. But okay, wow. what does that mean? Yes, they are here for healing of the planet because they are worried about the planetary conditions, also how that will develop in the near future. And we share this concern, and they offer their help. Say, okay, great, but how can it? Well, they say we can use the pictures of the crop circles because those pictures also resonate with the energies. And that is true. I knew this because also working with the morphic field from Rupert Sheldrake, it's a resonator. It's similar with the real thing. So this is also the way how you can use a map from an area to resonate with the map and connect with the morphic field and really transfer information and energy. So in this, yeah, I said, okay, then we can really connect with it and use it for the balancing. Why not? So this was the first time how we started to work with this. And let me first show you a few little pictures from some crop circles, because the whole connection with extraterrestrial is later on shown also in crop circles. Well, there are many, many, many crop circles and many highlights. The hotspot was Southern England, near Stonehenge, Silbury Hill, all those sacred places. And there are a little less now. There were times there were about each day in June, 30 in June, July, whatever. This was the largest one ever. It emerged in August 2021. And here you see a formation, it's not a circle, of 409 circles. It appeared overnight. And these are the tram lines. And the distance between the tram lines is 25 meters. So this has a size of 200 to 215 meters. It's always the question, is it man-made? Well, I can tell you, you need a lot of people being very trained to make this overnight, and perhaps you can flatten the crop walking through it. But to trick this out, that in each of these circles were 5 plants still standing upwards. So no way to do it with a stick and everything. It was immense, and it was flabbergasting, and it still is when you look at this. Not much later, this one appeared. This was also shocking for the whole crop circle community. First of all, here you see a transmission device also being able to transmit messages into space. But there were 2 parts. It was this one and this one. When we zoom into this one, you see this. This was called the face. And it remembered to a face once photographed on planet Mars, also in the early 90s. It's almost the same. And it was in a way, it was never shown before with those dots and how a crop circle was made. And it was not a crop circle. And then it was the other one that really was amazing, because this, if you look at it, you don't understand it. But when I show you this one, you will understand it. This is the message was found in the crop, and this was the message, or even larger here, sent on September on the 11th in 1974 into space by humanity with information about the human race, about our planetary system, about our DNA, the composition of our bodies. And now you see on August the 19th, 2021, this one came back in the crop. Also showing a kind of a T. This was the device how we send it. They showed how it was sent here. How their solar system was the composition. Also the elements in their body, the DNA and whatever. Well, like I said, I won't not go into this now, but it was studied thoroughly, and there were many other examples of communication with ET in crop circles, also having people seeing the spheres, making them. So, and there are also many examples of kind of communication with, was also many done by telepathy. But we were working on our crops, on our method, trying to bring good energy to estates and everywhere. And we already started to work many places in Europe, and it was my part to check upon that. The way we worked in those days was still, we used really radionic devices. And when you look at this was the place where we worked, Institute of Resonance Therapy in Kappenberg, north of the Ruhr area in Germany, not too far from Holland. But here you see it's still in Dutch, but we had kind of radionic devices and a whole tradition. We connected with a kind of portfolio with software. And these programs nowadays were used 20 minutes, several hours a day. Nowadays, we only work in minutes. So we really learned how to work, fine tune with really sensing to do as little as possible. But here you already see a crop circle, which we used for the balancing. We also work with fractal geometry, and we work with a resonator, the aerial map of the area. And those days we also started working, and this is the Czech Republic in Bohemia. What we found was a major acupuncture area for Europe. So we just started to develop projects in the Giant Mountains National Park, in the Iron Mountains Park, in Krivoklad, a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. And this was the private property of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Schwarzenbeck. And everywhere, so this was the areas we went. This was the forest dieback. Many people can remember those days. So one part was to work on acupuncture areas, also try to do something for these areas. But to show you, we did really good scientific designs. We had balanced areas, control areas, and there were monitoring plots with 50 trees per plot according European standards to really see how the vitality would develop in all those areas and also in the balanced ones. This was Mr. Schwarzenbeck. He later ran for president, only to show you on what level we already those days communicated with people who were interested and still are in the work to do in balancing and also talking about crop circles and whatever. So it's on that level, it was never something spooky or whatever. Yes?
Yeah, you cut out. But you're back. Good, 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 good. You might just repeat what you said over the last 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. That we really said it was not a problem talking with people on those levels about energies and crop circles, whatever. This is the area I want to take you to. This is called Krivoklad. It's a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. It's 17,000 hectares, and in those days, in the early 90s, one of the largest projects we balanced. And a beautiful area with rare species and whatever. And this was the castle where also the forestry people lived. And I was heading there in the early 90s to do my control. I went there. But starting our cooperation with the ETs, I said, okay, if you want to work with us, why don't you help us in those projects? For instance, you can make a crop circle. I was a little kidding about this. So this was the largest project ever we did. And imagine you sending energies, losing a little like this size aerial map to a real area over there. What could you expect? So I was driving there in the afternoon with my rental car, came in from Prague, and approaching the area. And approaching, I was already feeling, sensing energies I recognized from the area where I was been in southern England. Sounding this crop circle flavor, so to say. And the closer I came to this balanced area of the Krivoklad UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, so we already all had permission to work there, it was getting stronger and stronger. And when I approached the balanced boundaries, it was so I was really overwhelmed. And it was one of those moments in my whole career. It was really, I couldn't get it. It was overwhelming. And I stopped the car, I was crying, was completely upset, realizing if this is true, then it's immense what we can do as human beings in healing this, balancing this area. It's incredible. So it really took me a time to get myself together. And I wanted to go back because it was so strong and overwhelming. And I said, okay, I'm here and I can't go back. And so I decided to go into the area. And then I came to this castle and already had the forestry people, already, man, they have dressed up in uniforms and really, not the most spiritual people at all. So, wow, you're great, you're coming because we have so much positive change here. This and this and this happened. And they were really, completely overwhelmed and overjoyed what was happening by the balancing we sent them. So, okay, that was a relief for me and a large proof. And then we started talking, I don't know, about crop circle energy. He said, now what? It's remarkable. Because 2 days before you came, the first crop circle came to the Czech Republic. I said, oh, that can't be true. Yeah, you should go there. You should see it. And I couldn't believe it. I said, well, then I really need to go there and to see it myself. So I took my car on the Sunday afternoon and went back and started looking for the crop circle. And indeed, I found it. And there was already a camera crew there and a lot of people filming it. And so it was later on, I checked it with other ones doing studies. That, yeah, that was really the first crop circle ever being there in the Czech Republic. So somewhere my question was heard. Well, our work developed on, and like I said, we're working on a high political level. And one day there was a fax, that time we worked with the fax, and it came from the office from former President Michael Gorbachev, you already have heard about. He heard about our work with healing on large scale. And here he is. He fortunately died last year. And he said, I want you to come to Russia and to do a comparable project. And we talked about where we could go, and we ended up at Lake Ladago. And this is Denmark, you see the Northern Sea, close to St. Petersburg. Here you see still Russian map, and here's St. Petersburg. And we came to the Nizhny Reserve. 42,000 hectares, and then again, the largest project we ever balanced, a natural Nizhny Reserve, close to Lake Ladago. So we got in contact with the ministry, or the management, the scientists, and we also decided to take Czech scientists with it to establish the monitoring grids, what we also did in Czech Republic, to really check upon the vitality of the area, and we started balancing this. And again, it was an amazing area. This is Lake Ladago, and you also found a beautiful vegetation. Also, at that time, still abandoned monasteries, a very inspiring area. And over the balancing, over the 3 years, we also had really amazing results being proved by scientists from the Russian Academy of Sciences in cooperation with the Czech scientists, that the defoliation got less in comparison to the balanced area. So it really showed that it was possible to even work on larger scale, sending energies, working with the map to Russia and having those results. Wow, great. So we were very happy with this. And I start this story also in my latest book, The Universe Loves a Happy Ending, and to tell you about. But to get back to the crop circles, or crop circles, whatever, yes. Because we had a group of people, sponsors, we took with us to the project to show them what was all possible. And going through this huge reserve with some of the guards, and they were really hardcore men. They were trained to caught the poachers with guns and everything. So really tough, and I had to drink a lot of vodka with them playing the guitar. I mean, we really got good friends, but it was really hard life there. And they were with us on our tour through the reserve because there's still bears and every old stuff over there. And one way we talked with the guests about the crop circles, and the Czech, dolmetschers translated this. And one certain moment, it was a lot of rumor in this Russian group. I said, what's going on? Yeah, said Martin. It was my Czech friend, dolmetscher and scientist. They're talking about crop circle, but also about ET. It shows, he said me, that each of them have experience here with UFOs. They never dared to talk about this till now because you opened up. You started talking about the crop circles and the UFO connection, whatever. And it's trusted to talk with them themselves. And this was incredible, hearing all those people. And they were talking about going with a Land Rover at night, looking for the poachers, having this disc above them with the blue light, feeling extremely well, overwhelmed. And also seeing, yes, we see them going into Lake Ladoga, we see him coming out of the lake, and they were all agreeing with each other on the phenomenon they really saw. So this was really amazing. So we thought, okay, well, we do a little research. We give them a questionnaire and fill this in, and we have some first sightings, and you can distinguish which one is right or not. And I came back half a year later, and then Marina Stoljarskaya, she was one of the scientists we assigned here to do this work, and she had a lot of interviews with people with having UFO sightings. So I thought she interviewed the workers from the estate. So did you? Yeah, no, but I really, I heard there were much more people and all being interested to share because you asked for it. So she went to the mayor. She went to the head of the police, the doctor, and I don't know. So all the people being in charge at explaining what they saw, and they had the most bizarre experiences with ET and UFOs, and later on it showed all to be really good first-hand sightings, because you can, in those interviews, there are questions you can really check if it's tricked or not. So this was another really good experience for having now some UFO connection in the ECOintention projects. Let's go back again here. So these are my two books. The Universe Loves a Happy Ending. This one is unfortunately sold out. We are working to get it published again, but I hope it does. There are some second-hand copies on the internet, but here you can read the whole story about the Nizhny Reserve. Now we get here. This is 2012. Here you see a crop circle, and when you zoom in, it looks like this. Quite simple, but also very triggering, because here all the crops are interwoven. There's a little bit standing over here, a simple but very unique design. Why do I show you this? Well, it was a gift, literally. We're doing the training, we have many students there, they're all walks of life, and one of them had a daycare. And she had a lot of children coming in, and all had different wishes for food, babies, young ones. She said, Hans, I have a problem. To deliver this food, I need to use a microwave. And I don't like microwave food, because there's been so much research. It's been really, I know it's not, and I don't want to give those kids microwave food. It's the only way I can get it organized. Don't you have something we can balance the microwave food? Because I know you already designed, little symbols to balance the vibes from telephones and other internet stuff. And so, well, Mariana, that's a nice question, because I need a question to start. And immediately then I said, yes, I will do my best. I had in my head a kind of message. It's there, but not yet. I said, Marianne, you know, it's there, but not yet. I don't know what it means. And to tell you already that time in the training, because of all the good results we have and all the other years with the resonance therapy, we stopped working there in 97. And other years, the institute closed and we started to work with first ecotherapy, later ECOintention. So we took on the whole work, developed it weather, and I really found the value of working with crop circle energies in the balancing we did. So I also introduced the crop circle phenomenon to our students. And in the third year, they're all pull from I have a whole bunch of crop circles. They're all covered. You don't see them. Each one takes one of them. It's your crop circle. And they start doing research on it and working with the energies. And they really contribute so much to the healing of all the projects we do. So she was also informed in crop circle, although she was still in the third year. Said, I don't know what it is. So 1 month later, we saw again each card in class. Well, do you have my symbol? Do you have it? I said, no, no, it's there, but not yet. So we went on to June, and then it got summer, and I forgot about it. And we met again in August. And she said to me, what about myself? And I had in my head, you know, it's there. It's there. And I thought, it's there. Then it said, it can only be a crop circle, you know. And yeah. Then you have to start looking. I said, yeah, well, because I thought about if I design, you know, by intuition feeling, a kind of symbol she could use in a daycare with all the parents coming. It should not be a fancy symbol, somebody, you know, put on, glued on a microwave, but it should be something very simple. Nobody said, oh, what is this? So a very simple design. And then I was looking, feeling, sensing again, and then I found this one, the one I showed you. And, oh, sorry. So I said, okay, if this is the symbol, then it should work, because then it should really improve the quality of the microwave food. And we are always in experiments. I want to have proof and not belief. And I say, I don't believe in God. I know he's a good friend. You know, we work together and show me. And like this is something okay when this is given. So I thought, okay, when the microwave, it heats up the water molecules. And there's a strong connection between crop circle energy and water. They do something together. So I think, yeah, when I take the picture of this crop circle, I call it the micro balancer, put it under the microwave. And then first I take the energy of a glass of water, I sense it, and then I put it in a microwave. You should do this, and I describe it in the paper I will show you. And when you boil the water in a microwave without anything, and you take this water out and you sense it, and you are shocked because it's so totally distorted. It is full of pain and anger, and that's why you should not eat it, because it brings in an energy in your body that, well, not kills you, but really can make you sick. So that was proof. And then did the same experiment, put it under the microwave, the micro balancer, and turn it on again. Took the water out and it cooled down. And it was amazing. The water was even better than I put it in before. And I couldn't believe it. So I repeated the experiment again. And I called Reich. It was in the office. I said, yeah, it's true, it's better. And then I did the same experiment. I repeated it with the students and with Marianne. I said, I bring you something, you know, it's been a gift. Think that's why, you know, they were connected, listening to us. And I said, it's not there, it will be, but it will be dropped in the crop. Here it is. So we try. So we were in the class with all the students, and I took the microwave from home and we repeated the whole experiment, and it worked again. And since that moment is already 2012, and we shared it with many people. I even shared it with my mother, and she was always trying when I visited, yeah, you want something to eat? I'll bring you something to eat. But she had the microwave food and I didn't like. So, and one day she brought me something. I said, hey, Mom, this really tastes well. What is it from the microwave? She said, yeah, but you gave me this crop circle. And it's under the microwave. You see, now you didn't know yourself and it works. So it was really amazing. It's incredible that again I will send you this article. Here I describe it, my whole story. I just told you the effect, and also that it's one over here, and also a gift from the crop circle makers you can see here, and also how you can do this microwave experiment yourself, how to do this, and it would be great to do some research on the molecule structure. And here it is. So you can really print this one and put it under your microwave and do the experiment yourself. So I'm really looking forward to your experiments, which we can share. Well, we're almost there. It's 2012 and now 2024. And so again, we have crop circles and ET connection, and so working together in a way, also having those symbols, bringing into the balancing of our projects. That is really something to do, but our work developed. And like I said, we train people to connect with us, and I always said, don't believe me, let's go together on a journey and do this together like we did this experiment together. So, and when, train people that I really judge as being normal, I always say altogether normal, altogether crazy is normal too, but you can do this experiment yourself. I think you can even do testing on the structure of the water molecules. I think probably being changed by this crop circle. And, but then it started to be 2015, and perhaps, as you can remember, in that year, a lot of things. Wait a minute, this is not the right one. I should show another slide. Where are we? That's over here. Here we are. Because in 2015, this was happening in Europe. All the refugees came into Europe, and they still are coming, but this was immense. I'm living in Germany, and also they were taking, Councillor Merkel said, yes, we can do this. So they came, many of them. This was exactly what Irene Lutz predicted already in the early 90s. And this was in fact the roots of our work. Developing these methods for large-scale healing, for acupuncturists to bring Europe in a good energy, and to a good energy brings good luck, like I say, it gives a good mood and whatever, and what is going on. So that time we already had our ECOintention training, because we started from scratch with this, developing this over the years, having practitioners each year, and also being, and we also started to work on a completely more simple way with a kind of energetic toolkit, not having radionic devices anymore, but inviting people to have their own grounders. How you bring grounding. This is petrified wood. We're working with Hebrew symbols. Everything is possible, like I described. And we work with energies, with an organ beamer, a lamp, with Reiki and reconnective healing, transformers to open acupuncture intersections, the flower of life, Sri Yantra, prayer, and also we work with informers to bring problem solutions, colors, mandalas, Bach remedies, music, crystals and stones, harmonizers, to really bring harmony in the energies, flower of life, and here they are again, the crop circles we work. So this is the way we teach people nowadays, and they were all trained. And we had a lot of practitioners being over there, and we asked them, do you want to join us on this journey, working, in the project Help to Heal Europe? Because We started doing this with the Institute for Resonance Therapy many years ago, but at that time the method was really not 100% safe because we didn't learn how to protect ourselves from all the negative energies, have energetic hygiene. So there was really hard learning with many mistakes, I also admit now. We had good results, but we took our own energy. And this is not how you should do healing, not from the lower chakras. Never do your best, because then you give yourself away. Always bring in the energy like this. Well, there's many more to say about this. But we started this project. This is our website. You can have a look over there. But this is all based on the organism Europe. And this is what we already found in the days with the Institute for Resonance Therapy, which we communicated with politicians in Holland and also Czech Republic, with Havel, and also what President Gorbachev said. This is true. And here you see it, you can see it on the website. And we found these holons are natural entities defined by the geological structure in the earth crust, all being having their own uniqueness, but what's happening here is affecting theirs. This is a whole. Then in the project, and we'll keep it short, we are balancing areas to establish a kind of healing system. We are balancing areas in several holons. And this is the holon. Well, it's much, we are working there before the whole war in the Ukraine started. And here you see three major projects we are balancing still now. We started balancing in the Białowieża primal forest. This is on the border with Belarus and Poland. We also started to balance the Tula-Goluga area. And like, it's not something we do, but it's always in cooperation with local people. We need boots on the grounds, always having the permission. And we started working in these areas. This is found by intuition. The places where you land in such a holon, it is immense, because here you see Belarus, a part of Poland, and also southern England. It's amazing of this holon, like I said, that there are the main capitals. Moscow is in it, Kiev in it, Minsk is in it, Warsaw is in it, and also Moldavia. We never knew, we always thought, why are we guided to start here? I know now with this whole balancing or this war going on. But to show you, the Białowieża area is one of the largest primal forests in Europe. This, you see a lot of beautiful animals. The Tula-Goluga region, south of Moscow, we were guided there to go. Later on, I discovered that this area is described by Rudolf Steiner, founder of anthroposophy, having a huge spiritual meaning for the future in Europe. I didn't know this. We didn't know this at all, but here we are working over there. And we started to work on the Dnieper Reservoir. And I thought, why the heck are we guided over here? Why should we balance this area? Well, you see it over here. This is Zaporizhzhia. We didn't know there was no war, but we are balancing this area to keep the energy up and to really hope for good luck and not for good luck with all the things going on over there. And this is to go back to the holon. When you take those areas, and they are really huge, you already saw what we balance, and this is all done by practitioners, also using crop circle energies. These three are connected to an overarching healing system, having a kind of transformation and potential for the whole holon. It's wonderful. And the center is over here in Kiev, really being over here. And also interesting, this was exactly the place where the Russians moved in to start to conquer Kiev. And by unexplainable reasons, they could not get further. I don't know if there's any work relationship with the work we do. I don't know, but there are so many correlations in our work. So this is one thing. Now to finish this, well, a minute, I see if there's one more slide I forgot to show. No. So we're doing monthly healings for Ukraine, but also for the parts of Russia with people. and all working for the higher good and working for nature and not judging everything, but trying to bring good energy to keep it up over there. But from the beginning, we started there. The extraterrestrial presence, so to say, in our field really got stronger. And sometimes even so that my partner in developing Reich got immense headaches, such before we started to do a healing for this holon. And doing this holon we do remotely with people, but we bringing down the balancing. It's very, very strong, and you need to be really skilled in doing this. But we were wondering, and we were talking one day about the whole connection with this ET presence in our ECOintention field with the practitioners. Because the more we share this and the more we are connected in, the more we are grounded and the better we do, because when one on one together, you are three. And we talked about and also about different groups of aliens, from Pleiadians, from Sirius, and whatever. We know them. So it was a nice conversation. And we also got introduced, because I also learned about presence in a field. I said, this is not the vibe that is in resonance with us. How can we distinguish? And having asked this, because you need to ask, it really respects our free will, we felt a very high, very strong energy, an entity coming in the field. And not only, we also named her, and she introduced herself, or she, there's not really, a gender there, but it felt more feminine, as a kind of, intermediary between us and the Galactic Federation. Okay, well, interesting. And we did this also together with the whole group, because I always say all together crazy is normal too. And when I'm sitting doing this alone, you can really be a little bit distracted. And we all felt her presence very strongly and beautiful. And we really have some really good channelers and psychic people there being well grounded. And I said, this is really beautiful. She can help us to distinguish what is, the black t-shirts and the white t-shirts, how you will. So first they have to go there and she will lead them to us. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm, it sounds crazy, but I'm also still having this scientific mind full of doubt. And I'm doing this, telling this, but still there is, okay, what is it? I always want proof or something like that. So we went out having lunch, having this great energy, great experiment. And we came back in the room and I watched the clock, and the clock said it was 5:05. And look at the other clocks in the building, said, hey, what happened with our clock? And the moment I said this and have everybody looking at the clock started to spin. And all the clocks in the room didn't do this. And I asked for a sign. I said, what is this? The spinning clock. The stock stopped spinning, and it stopped exactly on the moment when I asked for my sign. Isn't this amazing? And the whole group was watching this, and they were even applauding. Hey, Hans, here you have your proof. That my own students telling me this. So this is really amazing having this proof. But now we feel that when we are doing the balancing, then is what we feel also got, communicated from ET, because this is done all by telepathy, what we do. And there's no ghost in my clock, it was the ETs making this move. So they can do this, they can do many more things, but they really respect our free will. They can manifest also themselves in time-space, but the time space we are in at the moment, in the 50s, it was much polluted by the energy changing by atomic bomb. What this nuclear energy does, it changes our life energy, our chi, our prana in our atmosphere, and turns it into Oranur, like Wilhelm Reich says. Wilhelm Reich, Nikola Tesla, and also Rudolf Steiner warned in those days already by the development of all our devices from radio, radar, wireless transmission. It was all coming up in the 40s and the 50s that we could change the climate, but also our living conditions dramatically. And this is what we're doing. We change the whole environment by chemicals with microplastic already during the Industrial Revolution. But now, being in the technological phase, we're also changing the energetic climate of our atmosphere, bringing in all this Oranur, or like you said, negative Oranur. And this is blocking in really much also many interdimensional gates. And this is one function in the planetary system, also in the universe, that our planet, also having another role, also is used by for intergalactic transportation, interdimensional transportation by ET craft from all different places, from different galaxies or star systems, whatever. They can go into the planet and go out. They're all wormholes and intersections. But this is not getting more and more difficult, but because the energetic pollution what we create. And they literally asked permission if they could use our fields, what we are balancing, for their for their transportations and to work also on the planet. And this was something we really had to discover. Do we give permission? And therefore we were happy with our connections with the Galactic Federation that say, okay, we distinguish for you what is good and bad, and we send them to you. So we have a lot of presence before we start the building, and still I check myself, is this okay? And I really feel how they connect with the planet, with PowerPoints in the holons, and go on. So there's a lot of things going on in this very limited space time when we do the balancing. And yeah, so I'm in one way grateful we can do this and having this connection, also being able in this collaboration, so to say. So there is really a Galactic Federation. I didn't know, I heard about it, but we got introduced. And like I said, we do this all together. And that's my only proof I have, with a lot of normal people being around it, doing their lives, having children, having business, sitting this together and having the same perception. This is what we do, and it works, so to say. So I'm really, real full of wonder what is all possible in healing in the planet, and also the help what there is, what we can achieve as human beings. And so it was a story of 1 hour. I hope, I could a little bit inspire you or motivate you in your whole own communication. But first, I think the most important thing is to work on ourselves. We can go out there, but this is really our game we are in. And the most important thing is that we go into our inner world, that we take care of it. And I think that the time of I think and therefore I am is over. We developed our intellect enormously and developed it, but now the time is from I am, I know. And this is what I mean. I know is connecting with your inner knowledge, with the field, and this is done by your intuition. Your intuition will be the most important tool you will have in the days and the years to come. Yes, but, yes, cut. So open your heart, develop your intuition, and clean up your own system. And then you can communicate with all those possibilities being given to us, because I really think we are made to be great. And I think it's time to shine our light, and not our light, because a lot of light throws a lot of shadow. Because when you bring light, you also enforce the shadows. But I think we should bring our love light from our heart, and that can bend into the shadows and harmonize. So thank you for listening, and which you like and can share later on the article with you and join you in the after, what is it, communication meeting.
Thank you, Hans. I think you just blew all of our collective minds. Thank
Oh,
you. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Wow, I don't even hardly know where to begin. This is such an extraordinary discourse on the scope of the mystery that I guess I'll just dive in, knowing that time is a bit limited, but I'd like to start with what you were just saying about the Galactic Federation. So you have concluded yourself personally and in community with your group of practitioners that in fact the extraterrestrial presence is real and that there is what many people have called a galactic federation in which the Earth is now discovering it's a part. Say more about that, but just based on what your own intuition and your own sense of knowing would enable you to share.
well, thank you. But like I said, I'm also learning in this.
Sure.
And we are very pragmatic. So we work and we have challenges. And I feel when we call for help, it is given to us. This is one thing. So I really feel that we really, take this in and ask, it's there. And so this came feeling the presence in our field, in our balancing field, and able to distinguish, are these elementals, are these angelic energies? So there is so much there and such a high complexity that, hey, this can only be extraterrestrial energies. And I know also from my work with Crop Circle, it's not only good out there, especially in the whole Crop Circle, there's a lot of military energy involved, also dark energies, reptilians, whatever. So it really needs very clear, be aligned, I always say, clear. So that's how we check this. And then this was given to us. I come from the Galactic Federation. Okay, so is there a collective federation? Yes. Also looking over the planet, watching us and being connected with and also checking, okay, how are those human beings doing? Do they need help or do they need to interfere? And like I said, when I do this with a group of well-trained people, then it's the only proof I have. And yeah, so yeah, this is quite new for me, or new several years now. I work with this, but I can really live with it. And she, we call her Myra, is very present in our field and very available for help, and also coming when we ask for this. And this is also what I learned, to really take for true your intuition perception, because at the end it's the only thing there is, and it should work. So when we do this and Reich's headache is disappearing, then it works, you see? And there should be proof.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I like about what you're saying, Hans, is that it's so consistent with other reports that we're not alone, that the extraterrestrial presences are not only real, but very diverse. There's a whole ecology of intelligences out there that span from benevolence, beneficence to maleficence, that there's light and dark energies, and that we humans need to pay attention to that and make sure that we're activating the kinds of faculties we need: intuitive, mental telepathy, remote viewing, clairvoyance, as you've been training people to do, so that we can not only understand more fully, but whatever's going to happen, we need to ensure human sovereignty.
Yeah.
And human authenticity. So you're affirming what certainly I've been hearing and others have been learning for some time from other quarters. So what this means is a general picture is beginning to emerge, indicating sort of the topography that we're beginning to inhabit as we begin to interact with these galactic federations of whatever nature. Is that consistent with what you would generally say?
I think so. I'm very grateful for the work you are doing. You picked it up, Jim, and offering this study now. It's wonderful. And yeah, I think so too. And like you said, there's this whole story. How did Homo sapiens got there? Are we bioengineered? You see, and I think in a way we are. We're so incredible. I'm just writing a new book about this. We are so gifted. It's incredible. So it's not a matter of chance, but then all those, civilizations gave their best DNA. So they are really plugged in, they are connected with. But the whole deal was that they can also experience what we were doing here by their gift. So in a way, they are looking like we are looking to a story that's evolving. And also having new encounters. And I think the whole thing also with reptilians, some of them really say, hey, we enjoy this emotional fear of human beings. Let's keep them in this fear that's doing us good. So this is a whole other part of it. And this is how we have to learn not to be afraid and to develop our trust and our courage and the love. So it's all a challenge, but it's a huge game we are in. But I also feel, and this is interesting, that even those darker energies can't continue living in this energetic climate what we are created. They're all affected. So the good and the bad are really suffering, literally, from what is now on electrosmog around our planet. So there is much things going on, and it's interesting where we are heading to.
Yeah. And let me turn to the crop circles, because that was an absolutely fascinating exposition. And again, let me just make sure I understand what you were saying, that your experience is that many of the crop circles are ET related, and that they are mechanisms both to heal the planet, sort of as a acupuncture. And it's interesting that England, kind of the southern part of England is probably some big earth acupuncture point, like the Hara energy in the body. And that might explain why they're so concentrated in that particular point. But there are also mechanisms through which the extraterrestrials are seeking to communicate to
Yes,
humans.
they affect, this is our business. We should take care of the planet. But they are worried also in a way for themselves that if it's getting too much out of hand, they're also losing their portals and their way of using their planets for their own purpose. So
Especially
this is
through
the way,
nuclear
but
weapons.
they are not allowed to interfere with the planet without our knowledge, so to say. So they make it quite visible. Whack, here is a crop circle, and I describe it also in resonance with nature, that we discovered a strong relationship between the crop circle and water. The water is charged. Also in England, there are explosions of water tanks at the moment the crop circle emerges. And the technique, later on, I found that many things we developed are similar used in crop circles. So I think, did we take it from them? Did they take it from us? I don't know, but it was already amazing to discover this. And I think it's literally that south of England is the English community is good in communication, but I think the energy is going deep into the planet, but also affecting with the groundwater in that area, and that is not too far from the Northern Sea, going into the warm Gulf Stream, this information, and being rotated over the planet. So it's a good place, for an injection going deep into the planet, to the core, but also being on the surface about the water. That's my theory.
Now, there was a question about the crop circle that looked like a face. Say more about that, because you're right. I remember, 20, 30 years ago, seeing that face on Mars. And here it is popping up as a crop circle. And as you may know, there's a whole body of thought that the extraterrestrials first landed on Mars, got into conflict with one another, possibly a nuclear exchange, and then began to come to Earth and began to populate Earth, millions and millions and millions of years ago. So what do you make of a face on Mars and a crop circle with the same
I
face?
don't know, but it was amazing because it was one of the first pictures ever taken from Mars. Now, I don't know which
Yeah.
craft it was. It went to Mars and it came back with this picture. And I thought, whoa. And everybody was flabbergasted seeing this face. And it was, it was accidental, and NASA got confused and everybody forgot about it. And then this face came. And like I said, you can look, and they really match 100% on each other. It's the same face was on Mars. It's the same face being in the crop circle. So
Amazing.
interestingly, yeah. And now they went back to this place, and the face is gone because of the whole weather on Mars. It's not longer there anymore. But this similarity is amazing. So what does it mean? What does it say? I don't know, but it was many. There are so many, stories in the crop circle phenomena.
Yeah.
There are amazing stories, and it still is. Why is it not normally shared? Because they are so beautiful. It's from art. You can also see it as pieces of art. But okay, that is what we do. We keep it all, like with all the phenomena. They keep it
ET
all.
art. We can start thinking about crop circles as ET art.
Yes, it
It's
is. But
amazing. Now let
yeah,
me.
but they were also found in the air and found in the snow, and even trees got down, small trees, they're all in shape. So there were, many other countries too. So it's not only localized in southern England.
Yeah. Now let me ask you about the crop circles again in relationship to the effect that they have on water. Now you singled out one crop circle, and is it your understanding that it is only that crop circle that can improve the quality of water or a microwave, or does any crop circle serve that purpose?
I didn't do research on all the crop circles. That would be too much. But what I've found that it's the yin and the yang always, then they're looking for it. And it's the crop circle is much yang. It's really posed down. So it's trying to get the balance with the water at side. And that is kind of generating when qi gives yin and yang. And when you bring yin and yang together, you have qi. That's the alchemy. So when you do this in the landscape, you have a kind of engine creating energy. And the crop circles can be found years later after, there are harvested. Sometimes the imprint is there. But if you go looking in the landscape, you can still feel the energy being present. So this is how it works with water. But what I feel and also know that there are not many people applying crop circles. Georg showed me some for charging water and for, harmonizing energy, but there is much more to discover in them. And also they can be used for human healing. The one I showed you, the 400. So each one of the circles resonates with an acupuncture point on our body because it's the flower of life. Everything is there. So we are also in there. So you can use it for healing. You can connect the point with the body and it can be healed. This is one way how you can use this. So there's much more to discover in this. I didn't do it yet, but I know it. I'm busy, but you can really work on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to follow up with Georg, and that's just a fascinating thing, and it's easy to do just to get a little cup holder or place holder of crop circles and put your water or your coffee or your tea on top, and it'll improve the quality of your libation. That's extraordinary. Now let me.
Yeah, but but a mandala will also do this, and you have another flavor. So this is what we teach, So you put something in and it will change, but it will have a certain effect. And like to say, the flower of life is that way not the best one. You can have a smoother taste with another one. See, this is what I think this is the whole new journey we are going to take, that we will be able, what we are teaching, to really perceive it ourselves. So now I want to drink like you have your tea, you know, you take this bag, another one, you
I
take that
see.
bag,
Yeah,
and now
yeah,
you
yeah,
take
yeah.
this crop circle, you take another one, because it has a different effect on your water, or you take the Sri Yantra.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Well, I've been studying the Maya and in preparation for our pilgrimage to Teotihuacan,
Wow.
the solstice, and I've been learning that each one of they had over 8,000 pyramids just
Wow.
around Central America,
Yeah.
concentrated
Yeah.
around Teotihuacan, and they designed them to different angles and different sizes because each one of them had a different frequency, a
Yeah.
different tonality for healing, for illumination, and for teaching.
Yeah.
And each one was a different kind of portal. So it's interesting that the pyramids are that way, crop circles are that way, mandalas are that way. So that wherever you have geometric shapes, you create energy, an energetic quality.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, and that is what we are discovering now. Now, then you get in the whole megalithic civilizations, the work of Graham Hancock, and I'm also studying this. You know, where where the god cosmonauts, there you go. You know, this presence there? Did they leave the planet? Oh, there's much, much, much to tell about this. You know, but I think we're living now in the present, and we really have to take care of our planet. And
Yeah.
but what the whole thing, there's a lot of help out there, and it can only help us when we ask for it, and then we have to really to learn to distinguish. You know, okay, everybody knocking on my door, why is he there? Is he helping from, I say, eco? It's the higher whole, or is it ego? You know, you also
Yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
eco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Will, Hans, this has been one of the most fascinating sessions that we've had in some time. This
Really?
is like
Sorry.
expanding the boundaries of cognition,
Okay.
imagination,
Oh,
and scope. So I really appreciate everything you've been doing over all these decades now to heal, including the work in Russia and the Czech Republic and Ukraine. I mean, to be down there by Zaporozhye, that's where the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe is. And
yeah.
you're bringing real healing to that part of the world. So we all salute you and
Thank you.
acknowledge
Thank
the
you.
work that you're doing. And thank you. So, well, that'll bring us to a close for today, everyone. Uh, it's always a good thing when in the spirit of truth pursued, we get an experience like we did today, where all of our assumptions are stretched and we can now hold a bigger part of reality in our souls. That's always makes me deeply grateful for being alive at this moment. The learning, the capacity for deeper compassion is always so powerful. You can all join Hans in the after chat. You'll see the link in the chat box. Stan just put it in. You received the link in your Zoom invites. Then next week, we're going to continue with our exploration of the multifariousness and dimensionality of our world. We're going to go to Guantanamo Bay on Monday, to the prison that the United States has built, that for over 30 plus years now has contained the prisoners from Iraq. And we're going to be hearing about what's going on in Guantanamo, another little nook and cranny of our universe. This is Humanity Rising. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you, everyone. See you in the after chat. Bye for now. Have a good weekend.